He's a Hall of Famer. He's a TNT analyst,
one of my
favorite
analysts.
And we're going to welcome him in to the Odd Couple. Charles Barkley.
Charles.
What's happening, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me on.
No sweat.
Come on. We are honored to have you on, brother. We appreciate it.
Hey, Charles, I want to tell right off the top, I'm going to embarrass you, all right? And I'm going to tell this story really quickly. But after ESPN didn't renew my contract, right, I got 2 phone calls like right away when it was announced. One was from Dwight Gooden and one was from Charles Barkley. And Charles left me the nicest message about staying strong, how talented I was, and that another opportunity would come. Charles, you remember that?
I do, my brother. You know, I think it's important, and number one, I got love for both of you brothers. Listen, we've been brought up through history. There's very few brothers on radio or television, and we need to have a voice. So I told you, anytime there's a brother that I can help in any way, it's important.
Right.
Because, like I say, the thing that's really funny about this whole thing, you guys know, y'all both old as hell like me.
You know it. You know it.
There were no brothers. Like, when I played in the NBA for 16 years, blessed and thankful, there was only like one black guy in every city.
Right.
And, you know, David Dupree.
David Dupree for USA Today, yep.
Roscoe Nance.
Roscoe Nance for USA Today, absolutely.
There were no, like
Lacey,
there'd be like
I know
one
you
brother
remember
that
Lacey.
you never knew in some random-ass city, and that was it. And now I'm so proud, 30 years later, we got brothers got radio shows. We got brothers who can speak their mind on television. It's really important and significant. So, man, I'm glad thank y'all for having me on.
No doubt.
I want to stick with that, Charles, because you are, arguably the biggest personality in sports media.
No doubt about it.
And certainly the biggest former athlete in sports media. Did you ever foresee this for yourself? Did you ever imagine that you would be, a broadcaster?
No, my mentor, Dick Ebersol, he said to me one time, he said, have you thought about television when you retire? I said, listen, I'm going to play a couple more years, but I haven't thought about it. He said to me, you're going to be great on television, but you're always going to be in trouble. And I said, Dick, what does that mean? He said, Charles, people tell you they want to hear the truth, but they really don't mean that. And I was like, what do you mean by that? He says, every fan wants you to tell them their favorite player is the best. Their team is going to be good. He said, you're the most honest player I've ever met. You deal with all the ramifications and all the BS that comes with it. But he says, you have to understand, people don't really, they say they want to hear the truth, but they really don't want the truth. They want their truth. And you guys been in the business long enough. Like, people want their truth. They don't want the truth. They want their truth.
No doubt about it, and that's where that whole thing is now. If you disagree with them, you're a hater.
Right.
Yeah. You
right?
First of all, it's two things. Number one, you're a hater.
Right.
You're the old guy. Get off my lawn.
Exactly.
But also, you guys and myself also, and Stephen A. is going through this right now. When you disagree with black people,
right,
they don't be like, okay, we disagree. They're like, no, you're Uncle Tom or you're a sellout.
Right.
Like, one thing about black people, and first of all, I'm very proud to be black. I love myself and my people. But we're the group that goes from 0 to 60.
You know it.
Like, no. If you don't agree with me as a black person, you're Uncle Tom or a sellout.
Yeah.
And you guys, that's just the way it is. I had to learn that. And like I say, in the beginning, I was like, wait, if I don't agree with you, I'm a bad guy? We just can't disagree? No, and that's the craziest thing about being black. Black people, like I say, I love being black and I love my people, but we are so crazy at times. It's like, no. you disagree with me. You're Uncle Tom or you're a sellout. I'm like, no, actually, there is a middle ground. You do know that, right?
And we're not monolithic.
No, we're
we
not.
We get mad when people say who aren't black say we
all the
same,
same, right? We're not all the same.
But then when we're different, we want to rip each other.
The only time, Charles, that we hear all the same opinions is when we watch LeBron's barbershop show, where they all agree on everything he says.
Oh, see, there you go again. There you go.
Chuck, I want to go here because we're talking about race and stuff. Rob and I started the show. Luka Doncic, you know as well as us, that's a bad boy.
Yes.
We saw what he did last night, 42, 12, and 11. Nikola Jokic in Denver, a bad boy. You got these white players giving it to brothers, but they're all from overseas. Why aren't, when you played, you had Larry Bird, Chris Mullin, Tom Chambers.
There was a lot of white
John
guys.
Stockton, some really white stars. Why do you think we aren't seeing white American stars?
What's happened to them,
anymore?
Charles?
Well, number one, I think that number one, they don't do the AAU thing, which I first of all I hate the AAU thing. Number one, I don't have a good answer, but I think number one, the white guys don't get involved in the AAU stuff. I think a lot of those guys, when they go to college, they're not thinking about being one and done. I mean, you talk to every kid now who's in college, he's like a one and done guy. He doesn't worry about, wait, where's my game at? He's like, no, I'm just going to college for 1 year. I think that's the big difference, in my opinion. These guys, like, they more concerned about, like, where's my game at, than more like, I'm just going to college for 1 year. I don't care how good I am. I'm not working on anything. I'm just going to college for 1 year, and I want to get to the league. That, to me, is the biggest problem, in my personal opinion.
Charles, Chris and I talk about this, the load management thing. The biggest problem, and I just want to get your take, but the biggest problem I have is, what are you doing to the fans who buy tickets, who have planned, it's a kid's birthday, it's a holiday, or whatever, you buy tickets. And we all know you buy tickets if somebody's hurt, that's tough luck. But when you buy tickets and someone's just sitting down because they don't want to play, where are you on that? Is that fair to fans? Or, everybody says, well, if they win the championship, it'll be worth it. Well, what if they don't win the championship? Where are you?
Rob, me and you, I'm never going to agree on load management. I mean, it always worked for the greatest players who ever played the game to play as much as possible. They had crappy shoes.
Right.
Bad flights.
They didn't have the best. Hey, I tell people, like, wait, Bill Russell, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, they played in crappy shoes. These guys got the best doctors in the world today. They fly commercial. They don't fly commercial like we did in my day. And like I say, I'm not the grumpy old man. Like, we flew commercial. In my first 2 years in the NBA, I'd be in coach with some old lady laying on my damn shoulder.
Right, because back then, the person who had more tenure in the league sat up in first class, so it could be like a journeyman old guy, a journeyman guy.
I told people I didn't fly first class in my third year in the league. We'd play the night before. You had to catch the first flight out of town. We'd be at the airport at 4 o'clock. We'd be sleeping in the airport and trying to get comfortable. Then you get in coach, and there'd be two ladies laying on my shoulders. I'd fly like 3 hours and have to guard Akeem Olajuwon or Karl Malone. That wasn't a lot of fun whatsoever. But I think the thing that bothers people is when guys are resting healthy, people can talk about all the science they want to. Guys are making $30, $40 million a year. I mean, and we can all. Money's important and significant, and God bless these young guys for making money. But if Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic, Kareem, and Bill Russell, and those guys could play every night in crappy shoes, fly commercial, and make $100,000 a year, a guy making $40, $50 million a year don't need load management. I think we pissed the fans off for two reasons. I think because free agency, guys, the guys don't feel any loyalty. They got that right, bless them. And you got low management. One of the reasons the ratings are down, these guys don't have any loyalty to a team or a city, and you factor in low management. I think that's why our ratings are down. That's just my personal opinion.
Hall of Famer Charles Barkley joining the Odd Couple. Charles, we got our producers younger. We have interns who come in here, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. They look at the players of the 80s and 90s on tape, and they say, "Oh, they couldn't compete with these guys today. They not as good as these guys." Blah blah blah. And Rob and I, of course, defend you guys.
You gotta be fighting.
How do you compare, the players of your generation to the players today?
Well, these guys are terrific. Number one. Well, but let's be realistic. There's only like 5 great players. Let's get that out the way. But if you don't think Michael Jordan, Luka Doncic is terrific, but what does he do better than Larry Bird? Nothing.
Right.
What does? I'm trying to think. I mean, like Giannis is amazing. LeBron, all these guys are terrific, but
well, they have no big men that could compete with the star centers that you played against. Kareem, Shaq.
They don't, because these guys, they all want to shoot threes now.
Right.
But if you don't think Michael Jordan, come on, Scottie Pippen, if you don't think they could play today, I mean, listen, how many great players we got in the NBA today? We got LeBron, Anthony Davis, we got Giannis, we got James,
Kawhi,
Steph, he's hurt.
Steph is great, but we only got 5 great players. I mean, and first of all these guys are good. Number one, I don't want to be a hater. Now, all these guys are good players. Right. But as far as great players, I mean, Magic Johnson can play in any era. So I always laugh, but like I said, these guys got some great players, but most of these guys, let's be realistic, they can't play dead.
What about?
No, seriously, and like I say, I'm not being a hater. If you just go from team to team, you're like, okay, let's pick a team. Let's take the Denver Nuggets.
Yep.
I love the Joker. Who's the second best player on Denver? Come on, man.
Alex
Jamal Murray and Gary Harris. Yep.
I'm using my ESPN lingo right now. Come on, man.
I was going to say Alex English. No?
You're exactly right. Who's the second best? Who's the best player? I like Drew Holiday in New Orleans. But come on. Who's the second best player there?
Brandon Ingram.
I mean, and he's finally just starting to play.
Yeah.
But this notion that we were all bums, I'm like, dude, let's pick a team. Who's the best player on the Sacramento Kings? Who's the best player on the Phoenix?
Yes,
Hey, listen, I like Devin Booker. Well, let's don't act like. Wait, listen, I ain't never been drunk enough, and I like to drink. Y'all know that.
Yes.
I ain't never been drunk enough with these little young producers y'all got. Hey, would you take Devin Booker or Michael Jordan? Come on, man.
That's like a show topic. We have to shoot it down because they don't know what they're talking about. Charles, when we talk about the NBA as a whole, I love the Clippers and the team that they've put together, what they did last year. They got guys who play defense and of course, adding 2 stars to the mix. Chris loves the Lakers roster. Which team do you like better out of the West, the Lakers or the Clippers?
Well, I gotta tell you something, Rob. I'm starting to worry about Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
I'm starting to worry because, he ain't load management anymore.
He's hurt, maybe?
These last 2 games, he was hurt, right?
But he ain't played. So I'm actually starting to be like, is this dude ever going to be healthy again?
Right.
He ain't missing games for load management now. I think he's missed the last 3 games.
Yeah, and the last 2 were just
one was
knee,
a load management. One was load management, and the last 2. Yep. So that's 3 in a row.
So I'm starting to wonder, is this dude ever going to be healthy? But the Lakers, to me, I think they are the best team because they got LeBron and Anthony. I do believe they're the best team. I've been disappointed in Utah and Denver, to be honest with you, because I thought they both would be spectacular. In the East, you got three teams. You got Philly, Boston, and Milwaukee. I picked the Sixers to come out of the East. I did. I picked the Sixers to come out of the East.
Mm-hmm.
But those three teams are the best. Toronto's playing great. But Philly, Boston, and Milwaukee, they're the three best. One of those three teams are coming out of the East. I took Philly. But the Lakers and the Clippers, like I say, I've been disappointed in Denver and Utah. Portland stinks. They need to make a trade.
Well, Carmelo's starting tonight. That'll change everything.
See, there you go. hey. No, they need to make a trade. They do. They need to make a trade because they're not. It's something going on there, and they need to make a trade.
I want to ask you this because a lot of people ask me this. They say, "Man, sometimes Chuck and Shaq look like they about to fight." You know, what's their relationship like? What is your relationship like with Shaq, really?
Well, we get along great. First of all, I'm not going to fight that big old dude.
You're a smart man.
Right.
Hey, listen, he's too big. But you know what's funny, though? Chris, he doesn't understand there's actually, basketball strategy going on out there. Because he's always been the best and the biggest player in high school, college, and pros. But, for me and Kenny, we have to actually have a strategy going on out there.
Right.
So it would be he just has no clue what it's like to think your way. Every single game I played, I had to have a game plan against a guy I was playing against. He's never had to worry about that. He's always been the biggest, strongest, fastest, most awesome guy you ever going to meet. So he gets mad when I try to talk basketball to him, because he goes well, you never won a championship. I said, well, clearly I understand that. It has nothing to do with our basketball, the conversation we're having about basketball.
No doubt.
Hey, did he beat Dame in the rap battle?
Shaq's got to be better than that. Because our job is to make basketball better. Not being arguing or rap battle, however you want to phrase it. Our job is to help the game grow. Our job is not to insult the players. That's like the day remember when I said I want to punch Draymond Green in the face?
Right. You knew that you were out of bounds on that, didn't you?
I was wrong. And that's when I apologized. Well. And Shaq said to me, so you don't want to punch Draymond in the face? I said, yes, I do. But I can't say that.
On television, right.
I can't say
in your
that.
Position.
You can't just, and I just Shaq, our job is to, Damon, he's a hell of a player. He's a great player. Our job is not to insult him. I was wrong what I said about Draymond. That's why I apologize. He said, did you mean you want to punch him in the face? I said, of course I want to punch him in the face. That don't mean I get to say it, though.
Chuck, great stuff, man. I
we
wish
got to
we
get
could
you on
keep
again. Yes.
Yeah, for the rest.
We'll get you on down the road before the season is over, okay, Charles?
Hey, anytime, my brother. Keep up the great work.
Hey,
all right,
appreciate
Charles, thanks.
Thank you.
Peace. Hey, it's the Odd Couple. I'm Chris. He is Rob, and we want to encourage all of you to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. You know, you can listen to us on the radio, and now you can watch us as well, and it's fun.
No question about it. And remember, oh yeah!